So if you're in a position which you don't like and you want to change your careers, I know it's really hard and challenging. Trust me, I've been through it. And I want to give you my story of how I've transitioned from being a fully qualified chef into a long-term experienced recruitment consultant. So for those who don't know me, I'm originally from the UK, as you can tell by my accent, but I now live in Sydney, Australia. I was a fully qualified chef. So I went to college, I cooked from a very young age, and I thought that that was going to be my long-term career and a dream role for me. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Even though I had some really great experiences cooking for chefs, football players, working at a really prestigious football club, and having a really great experience, it just wasn't for me. I didn't like it, and I didn't see a future in being a chef. So I went to another chef job. That didn't work out. Another one didn't work out either. I walked out on a job unemployed. That was probably an all-time low for me because I had no idea what I wanted to do. And what I did do was I looked for entry-level roles or roles where you don't necessarily need experience or people are struggling to find people, which led me into home care. So I went to a local care home and I applied for a position and was fortunate enough to get a job working as a care assistant. I didn't need qualifications within there. Obviously I had to do my police checks and background checks, which was going to be fine. And I looked after 52 elderly residents. Half of the home was people with severe Alzheimer's and dementia, and the other half was just looking after elderly people, 12 hours a day, doing personal care, washing them, bathing them, feeding them, changing them, everything within a personal care role. While I did enjoy it, I found it physically and mentally draining and challenging. And I honestly have so much kudos for people in the care space who continue to do it day in, day out, because they are the real heroes. It's an incredibly hard role, so massive kudos for you guys who are still doing it. From there, I continued to apply for entry-level positions, and I thought sales would be good for me. I really love meeting and engaging people and hearing people's stories. That's what really drives me. So I connected and found out what is my values, what really drives me, and tried to align it with an entry-level position. I got into a sales position working in real estate in the UK, which was nearly an hour's drive from my home. But I knew that that was a foot in the door for me and I had to commit to it. So I did it for 18 months. I liked sales, I just didn't like the property space. Property's not something I want to get into, and just not my kind of cup of tea for the type of role I wanted to do. But it was a foot in the door and I could use my transferable skills within sales. From there, I met a careers advisor and a recruitment consultant who said to me that recruitment could be aligned with me. I actually, on the side, met with a recruiter to see if I could find another sales position which was going to be closer to home. And within that, I got offered a job from that recruiter because he saw that I had transferable skills. I worked for a local company, recruitment agency of a team of, I think back then was a team of 8. My boss was absolutely fantastic, supportive, and I really felt like I found that dream role for me. If I didn't move to Australia, I'd probably still be there now. I then moved to Australia, did a lot of traveling, which is another story in itself. And I was fortunate enough to be called by people to people who I work for now. They offered me a position nearly 8 years ago now. And I've had quite a few positions within that 8 years as well, which I can do another video on and tell you about where I've transitioned from, my failures and my wins within recruitment at People to People. But again, very fortunate to be able to work with a fantastic company who are very supportive, and that's my story and how I've got from having a qualification within hospitality and chefing all the way up to a recruitment role, which I really love. I really enjoy my job. So the moral of my story is, if you want to change careers and you're finding it really tough, you may have to look at side steps before you take a step forward. So have a look at other avenues, try and get your foot in the door where there's some transferable skills you can relate to, and see how your career path works out. It may go a different direction and you may love it. If you enjoyed my story and want to hear more, I'm more than happy to share it on my TikTok. I'll be doing more videos if you're happy for me to and want to know more about how I've adapted my life in terms of work and where I've got to and where I am today. Hope you enjoyed.